The Celtic manager Postecoglou reveals Celtic transfers lined up as a couple of signings planned. Celtic fans will be excited at the prospect of new arrivals at Parkhead, as Postecoglou's recruitment strategy so far has yielded gem discoveries such as Reo Hatate, O'Riley and Jota. The Australian coach has previously set out a clear mandate of the profile he is looking for in a player, with Celtic seemingly close to securing a deal for another J-League star in defender Yuki Kobayashi. With the January window fast approaching, Postecoglou isn't straying from his usual preparedness, with some of Celtic's key stars featuring at the World Cup in Qatar. And the Hoops boss revealed he may even have his eye on a few stars featuring across the 32 nations. He said, "It's fair to say there's a couple lined up. It's how we've done things and how I believe we need to be. It's how I'm built. I don't like rushing around last minute. It's not always the case. Matt O'Riley we did in 3 days last year. We saw an opportunity and moved really quickly. We need to be agile when we need to, and when we don't, we can methodically plan to make sure we get things done. If we can get guys early, once January 1st hits they are already part of this football club. I'm always happy, always excited. There's always something that needs to be done. It's not just about brining in new players for the sake of it. It's one we feel can take us to the next level. What we have done in the league so far is a strong foundation for us, and the target is now to finish the season better than we started. I'll watch the World Cup. It's one of those events you get engrossed in when it comes around. There are always great stories, and we've got a few participants in there. There might be a couple of others I'm looking at as well. Given Celtic's dominance in Scotland this term, the other 11 Premiership clubs could be forgiven for feeling a little apprehensive about the prospect of the runaway league leaders raising their game by another notch or two. But with new arrivals expected when the transfer window reopens in January, not to mention the return of captain Callum McGregor and centre-back Carl Starfelt from injury, Postecoglou is convinced that things can only get better. "We'll definitely be stronger," said the Celtic manager. "I've said this was the difficult period for us, what we've just been through. No doubt we'll be stronger, we'll need to be stronger. We can't stand still, no matter if people are saying we've had a great start. I refuse to stand still. Whatever the watermark has been, we aim to raise it when we get back. I'm always happy and always excited," Postecoglou continued. "There's always something that needs to be done. It's not just about bringing in new players for the sake of it. It's one we feel can take us to the next level. What we have done in the league so far is a strong foundation for us, and the target is now to finish the season better than we started." The former Australia national team manager certainly isn't one to rest on his laurels, and it is a characteristic he believes he shares with the club he leads. As Postecoglou sees it, Celtic have to be constantly evolving. He explained, "It has to be the way. I think that's what the club has always strived to be. I get the sense that sometimes you get distracted by other things, but the goal for us should always be to be stronger every year and bridge the gaps with the ones we want to compete with. You have to do that in all areas. The champions must work hard, sure, but they also have to outthink other teams if they are to make a dent in the European arena." This year's Champions League campaign served as an apt demonstration of the scale of the task facing Celtic. Finding a way to minimize the gulf in finances between European football's haves and have-nots is no mean feat, but Postecoglou believes there is a way to do so. Recruitment, naturally, is at the forefront of Postecoglou's plan. He has not been afraid to scour every corner in the globe in his search for players he thinks will improve the squad, and the Celtic manager believes that unearthing rough diamonds in untapped markets is the key to bridging the gap with Europe's elite sides. "Yes, absolutely, we have to spread the net wide," Postecoglou said of the club's recruitment strategy. "For us to challenge the teams we want to challenge, we need to do things a bit differently. We have to box clever. It's worked well for us so far. The markets we've tapped into have been really beneficial for us, and we've got great value in terms of what they've provided to our football club. We'll be looking to do it again. With the Premiership on hiatus while a certain football festival takes place in Qatar, Celtic fans will have to wait a little longer until they can see the improvements in the team that Postecoglou is seeking to make. Having led his nation during the 2014 edition of the tournament in Brazil, the World Cup holds a special place in Postecoglou's heart. The backdrop to Qatar has led to calls for a boycott from some, but the Greek-Australian feels the competition still retains its magic, and he will be closely watching events unfold in the Gulf. "I'll watch it," he said. "It's one of those events you get engrossed in when it comes around. There are always great stories, and we've got a few participants in there. There might be a couple of others I'm looking at as well."